Guys, once again you're welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm your girl, the Iseoluwa. Thank you guys for watching my video and for subscribing to my channel. And guys, the topic we're going to be discussing today is quite a sensitive one, and it's going to be quite a long video, so I'm imploring you to please stay with me as I share with you my story and that of many others. Thank you guys.
How many times have you felt uncomfortable by inappropriate jokes? Been sexually harassed, groped in the streets? How many times have you told yourself, it's fine, nothing's going to change, I'm used to it? Sexual assault exists.
It is time for us all to stand up and fight for the safety of a lady, fight for a good environment and a safe environment for a lady.
My name is Xiaomi Mi A3, and here is my take on assault and rape.
I'm Priscilla Olawale, and one of my greatest fear of becoming a mother is how will I be able to protect my girl child from child molesters and abusers.
Hi guys, so today's topic was inspired by recent events that happened, especially that of Uwa, who was a Uniben student who was raped and also killed by people in our society. So guys, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear sexual harassment? I bet the first thing that comes to your mind is rape, right? But then sexual harassment is big. It's such a wide topic, it's such a wide issue, and it is not just a wide topic, it is a very sensitive one that we should talk about more often. In my opinion, I believe that sexual harassment is the reality of every girl child in Nigeria. It is not just rape. Statistics has it that 1 in 4 girls has been sexually abused before the age of 18, which is the consent age, and 1 in 10 boys has also been sexually abused before the age of 18. Now, that statistics that I just gave you is based on either the reported cases or the cases that were treated at the hospital or something. According to UNICEF, 6 out of every 10 Nigerian child has been harassed and abused before the age of 18. So you guys will agree with me now that this is a serious issue that we face in our everyday lives and we need to address. So yes, before we address I decided to call it a bigger issue in this video. Before we address the bigger issues like rape, let's deal with the little things. Like, I'm walking on the street and some supposed grown-ups are, they're calling you and they're like, fine girl, baby girl, and they make all sort of comments about you and your body. And see, we feel like it is a normal thing that you're walking on the street and sometimes you don't even answer them and they start insulting you, like, see her herself, she not even fine, what thing she even gets, and like it has gradually become a normal thing, especially if you're in Lagos or you're just in Nigeria generally. But then it is not normal. See, you can harass me sexually with your words. You can harass me sexually with your actions. Not just rape is not just sexual harassment. Little things like that matter,
Yes. How dare you touch me inappropriately, putting your unwanted hands on my body? You're a grown man, how do you fail to understand that my body is not public property? Even if I'm walking around stark naked, drunk out of my mind, you still don't get to touch me.
Our society has normalized some things that are not supposed to be normal when it comes to ladies. As funny or as small as it is, when you go to a public place, we all know this, especially in Lagos, you go to the market, you find a lot of people touching you just because they want you to come and buy something. That is also part of harassment. And I feel even some guys are taking advantage of that to satisfy their urge about touching girls. You can make it look like as simple as it is, it's nothing. But then, no. If she doesn't want you to touch her, even if you are not having sex with her, if she doesn't want you to touch her, then don't touch her.
So I'm sure everyone has been to like Lagos market and you get to the market and they start touching you. Hey, my color, sister, thick, my wife, come. Like, if I want to get something from your store, I would walk into your store.
That the society actually enables these people. So guess what? We all are on social media these days, and then you see people make sexual jokes, and then they objectify the female body, and they do all those things, and people actually laugh at those jokes. And you don't just like them, you comment, you share, and you even use their slangs, Abby. But then I don't know how you guys find that funny, but I can never find it funny. I walk on the street and guys are making comments about my body, and they're saying all sort of inappropriate things, and I don't find it funny. We shouldn't find it funny. It is not funny. She gets it. There's nothing funny about body shaming somebody. There's nothing funny about making inappropriate comments about their body. It is not funny. And we've seen these things as normal. Like, we now even make jokes out of it, and we now laugh like it's no big deal. But then that is all a part of the rape culture. You know, you are in a gathering or you are amongst people, and then somebody touches you in a way you don't like, and then you say, oh, don't touch me that way, and they feel offended because they feel like they're entitled to your body. Like, what? And see, until we address these issues that, you know, we call small or we call normal, we will not be able to effectively address rape itself. She gets it. You are not entitled to anybody's body. Nobody's entitled to my body.
Drag me, you don't have to call me names, you don't have to body shame me, you don't have to slut shame me. Because then I noticed one thing about the whole marketing. When you don't answer them, the next thing you say, now only you, or there's a particular one they say, it is that you find past, see as you fast. Like, I know what I came to the market to get. You don't have to force me to get something else. And in the process of forcing me, you don't have to touch me, and you don't have to body shame me, call me fat, call me ugly because I decide not to buy your goods.
It is time for you to see a girl being harassed and stand with her. It is time for you to see a girl being talked about or approached wrongly just because of the way she dressed. You are standing with her. It is time for us all to stand with our girls. It is time for us all to stand with our ladies and say no to rape. And also, let's just also remember that this rape thing, it's not only, the ladies are not just the victims. Guys can be a victim too. So I say it is time for us all to stand together against any sexual harassment. Not be when you actually do the act of raping the person, but from your mere talking to your touching, it is harassment too. And then I say that is where it starts from, and that is where we should also start from, fighting against it. It's funny to see a lot of artists, a lot of musicians going around now and saying no to rape when most of their songs encourage rape. It's actually very annoying. You see songs that when you try to understand the context of the whole thing, you see it's actually not saying no to having a forced intercourse or something with somebody. And then now that everything is going on around, they are one of those people raising banner for against rape, standing against rape. You should stand against rape from your music. Preach the gospel in your music. Don't say one thing on your page and say another thing in your music.
Seated in the bus, and I just noticed someone was actually touching the side of my body. Now when I say side of my body, towards my okay, let's say my breast region to the back. So I ignored the first time. I thought, as per everybody they inside down phone and say maybe person just touch me, so I don't mind. So the second time, lo and behold, by the time I look back, it was actually a man that was old enough to give birth to me. He was now winking at me.
Sometimes people don't even want to open up, or they don't even want to talk about the fact that they've been sexually harassed or sexually abused, because everybody is going to have an opinion. What did you do? What were you wearing? What were you looking at? Where did you go there? Or They even say things like, did you scream? And see, they now make the victims look like the bad guys. They make it look like, oh, it's your fault that you were sexually abused. I remember an event happened when I was in school. I was in my 100 level and we were doing this thing that we do. I remember when I was in school, I was in my 100 level and we're doing this thing that we do. It's more like induction for theater art, but then we call it initiation. So there was this girl who was from another department, but then she was doing the initiation process with us. She wanted to join us to be initiated. It was a day when somebody attempted to sexually abuse her after we had rehearsals, or before we had rehearsals, early in the morning. And she screamed and people went to her rescue and all of that, and the guy ran away. And I remember that some girls made a very silly comment. They said something like, who would want to rape that kind of girl? To be honest with you, that time when they made the comment, I actually laughed. Because, you know, she's the kind of girl that is not so, she's not so physically, I don't know, let me just put it this way, she kind of looks rough. Like when you see her go, even you that you're a girl, you're like, ugh. And, you know, they said something like, who would want to rape this kind of girl? I wish she was just making it up. And I laughed because I thought it was funny then, but I was just being stupid, and they were also just being stupid. It has nothing to do with how the person looks or what the person is wearing. The problem of rape is with the rapist.
Then comes a victim shaming. Well, it wasn't really my fault. Did you see what she was wearing? She had skin showing and a tight skirt on. You start to cover up, blaming yourself, thinking maybe it was my fault, till the self-hate hits. Consent is not based on how someone is dressed. And no, a maybe does not equal a yes. This is basic common sense. We're not talking about the actions of children here. We're talking about grown adults.
My experience, I discovered that mostly those who molest children or abuse children are those that are really close to them, those that they know, those that they relate with on a regular basis, and it's quite difficult for them to see it as an abuse even when they are still a child. And with this, I think our parents need to educate their children the more and let them know that there are some places that they shouldn't be touched, whether by their uncle or their dad or their brother. Because if we don't get to teach them about it now, those close relatives, I mean those uncles, those cousins, those brothers, even the dad, would begin to take advantage of them. And believe me, if a seed of molestation is sown into the life of a child, it's quite difficult to forget. It's actually almost impossible to forget. So it's really sad that we have to address issues like this, that we have to talk about issues like this, especially with close relatives. Fine, it's not only close relatives, it's not only people that are close to you that could abuse you or molest you or harass you, but I think from my experience, it's mostly people that are really close to you. And apart from that, sexual harassment can come from anywhere, from someone you don't even know, and you have to learn to defend yourself against those people, because our society is not doing anything to help matters. But we have to train our girl child, not even our girl child alone, because even boys are being abused now. We should train our children to defend themselves against these horrible people.
And see, all these encounters I had, it's only my sister I told, because I don't want my mom to think she has not tried her best to protect us, because she's actually very protective of us. So there's this, I don't want her to feel the guilt that I failed as a parent or something. She's a very fragile person.
So guess what? Despite the fact that you taught your child sex education, or that you even took them to taekwondo classes and they can fight and you think that they can defend themselves and everything, does not mean that they are still not vulnerable to sexual abuse. So make sure that they know that regardless of everything, it is okay for them to still confide in you. Make sure that they know that regardless of the circumstances, that it's okay for them to still confide. Make sure that they know that it's okay, that regardless of the circumstances, they can still walk up to you and tell you about the things that happened to them. How somebody touched them inappropriately or did something to them inappropriately. Because guess what? It is not about physical strength. It is not. No means no. Regardless of the fact that it was done by your partner or your spouse or your boyfriend or your father or whoever it was, a no is a no. If she says no, it means no. If he says no, it means no. As long as the person does not give you consent, as long as it's not consensual, it is rape. It is rape.
I'm going to say finally that no is no. A first yes does not mean a yes. A first yes means no. Your wife can say no. Your girlfriend can say no. Even a sex worker can say no. No is no. Thank you.
We should train our children to defend themselves against these horrible people.
We will not be belittled or shamed anymore. Not now. Not tomorrow.
Hi guys, thank you so much for watching my YouTube video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like this video. And I'd like you to drop your comments. Don't just drop your comments. Join your voice with ours by sharing this video on your various platforms, and let's create an awareness about sexual abuse and sexual harassment, and let's put an end to this evil, as it were, and let's put an end to this evil, as it were, that is starting to become a norm in our society. So don't just watch the video, drop your comments. Let's have interactions at the comment section and share real life experiences, talk about sexual harassment, what you think that can be done to help curb the issue in the society. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I know you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification button so you wouldn't miss out on any amazing content that we'll be bringing your way. Bye guys, love you.